Hello and welcome. We're all thinking about our long-term health, and one of the biggest questions on our minds is how to protect our brains as we get older. We've all got questions, and thankfully, science is finally starting to give us some really clear answers. We have all been there. That little moment of panic when you can't quite recall a familiar name, or you find yourself staring into the fridge with absolutely no idea what you went in there for. It's a common fear, right? But it really makes you wonder, what's just a normal part of getting older? And when is it something we should pay a little more attention to? Okay, so here's how we're going to break this all down. First, we'll look at the challenge our brains face as they age. Then we'll see what the science has to say about it. After that, we'll get into the practical stuff, the 4 pillars of health. We'll cover the call for action that goes beyond just us as individuals. And finally, we'll talk about what this all means for your brain's future. All right, first things first, let's get our terms straight. It's totally true that our bodies and our brains change as we age, but a serious cognitive decline, that is not inevitable. So it's really important to understand the different stages. And this is a really key concept, mild cognitive impairment, or MCI for short. This is when those memory slips, forgetting a name or taking longer to make a decision, become noticeable, but and this is the important part, they aren't actually severe enough to get in the way of your day-to-day life. Think of it as a middle ground and one that's super important to recognize. Now, what's so helpful here is how this clearly separates MCI from dementia. With MCI, you've got noticeable issues, but you're still living independently. With dementia, those issues become severe enough that they actually interfere with your ability to live on your own. So MCI is a risk factor for dementia, for sure, but it is not the same thing. And this is exactly why it matters so much. Check out this number. Within a single year, about 10 to 20% of people with MCI will develop dementia. That statistic really drives home the urgency, right? It shows why jumping in and taking action early on can be an absolute game changer. So let's turn to the science, because honestly, this is where the story gets incredibly hopeful. We're not just floating theories here, we're talking about huge, evidence-based studies that are pointing us in the right direction. And the good news is, well, it's fantastic. We now have 2 massive studies that provide powerful proof that making specific lifestyle changes can genuinely, truly make a difference in slowing down cognitive decline. This isn't just wishful thinking anymore. It's what the data is telling us loud and clear. And you can see the scientific journey right here. It really kicked off back in 2015 with the FINGER trial in Finland. That study proved that targeting several lifestyle areas at once, what they call a multi-domain intervention, actually improved cognition. Now, fast forward to the US-based POINTER trial, set to wrap up in 2025, it has already confirmed those same benefits in a whole new group of people, and it added a really crucial piece to the puzzle. The senior author on the new analysis, Dr. Charles Hennekens, he just says it perfectly. He points out that these are the first large-scale randomized trials of their kind. And because they found the same results in different populations, it makes the evidence that much stronger that these lifestyle changes are really causing the benefit. And other experts are right there with him. Dr. Manisha Parulekar makes the great point that, this isn't coming out of nowhere. We already know that things like diet and exercise are proven to help prevent things like heart disease and cancer. So it just makes sense that these same healthy habits would also be great for our brains. Okay, so what exactly are these powerful lifestyle changes we keep talking about? Well, the POINTER study gives us a really clear blueprint, and we can think of it as 4 essential pillars of health. So let's break them down. Here they are, the big 4. Number 1, follow the MIND diet. It's this awesome mix of the Mediterranean and DASH diets, and it's all about brain-healthy foods like leafy greens, nuts, and berries. 2, get active. We're talking about a moderate to high-intensity exercise program, so brisk walking, maybe some cycling, anything that gets that heart rate up. 3, engage socially. Stay connected with family, friends, join a club. And number 4, monitor your heart health, because it turns out what's good for your heart is absolutely fantastic for your brain. Now, this is the kicker. This is one of the most important findings from the POINTER trial. While any effort is good, the people who were in a structured program saw way better results than the people who were just given some advice and sent on their way. That guidance, that support, it makes a huge difference. But, knowing what to do and actually being able to do it can be 2 very different things. And that brings us to a much bigger challenge, one that goes way beyond our individual choices. I mean, it's the big question, isn't it? If we have this powerful, science backed blueprint for protecting our brains, why aren't these things just what everyone does? Well, the answer, as you can probably guess, is a bit complicated. Dr. Hennekins really hits the nail on the head with this quote. He talks about a siloed approach. Think about it. A doctor gives a patient great advice, but then that patient goes back home to a community that doesn't have safe places to walk or affordable healthy food. The advice is useless without the resources to act on it. It just doesn't work. And that's where this idea of a supportive ecosystem comes in. This isn't just some abstract concept. We're talking about real, tangible changes. Things like city planning that actually encourages walking, or insurance companies that give you incentives for preventative care. It means public education campaigns, real access to nutritious food for everyone, and of course, affordable healthcare. It's about connecting the dots between good advice and real-world action. Okay, let's bring it all home. We've looked at the problem, we've looked at the incredible science, and we've talked about the solutions. So what is the number one thing you should take away from all this for your brain's future? It's this: the power to protect your cognitive health is, to a very large degree, in your hands. The science is solid. Combining these four pillars, that diets, the exercise, your social life, and keeping an eye on your heart health, this isn't just a hopeful idea anymore. It is an evidence-based, proven strategy that can measurably, significantly reduce your risk of cognitive decline. So, I want to leave you with this one final thought. You don't have to completely overhaul your life overnight. It can all start with one small choice. Looking at those four pillars we talked about, what's one choice, just one thing that you can do today to start building a healthier future for your brain?